Hello everybody and welcome to this RentalTrax demonstration video of our software platform. Specifically, this demo is going to speak to the wedding and event and party rental industries. I hope you find this video useful to help you in making your software decision, as there is a lot of choices out there. So it's important to do a little bit of research first before you dive into getting into a software, because we want to make sure it works for you. So a little background on our company: we come from the event industry as decorators, planners, and organizers, and needed a software that was more customized and more set up to work with that kind of client, with brides, corporate parties, that sort of thing. So we created RentalTrax for our own needs, and then it's grown from there as a web-based solution. Many people were seeing us use it on site and started to take off from there. So I'm going to show you kind of the benefits of our system for your industry. So you can see over on the right-hand side, first thing I want to show, and there's a lot of focus. I should use this as a disclaimer. There's a lot of functions inside this system. You're going to use probably 60% to 70% of the functions. Getting started, you'll probably only use 20% of the functions because it's a lot. There's a lot that it will do, but you have to take it one step at a time. So some of the I'm not going to show you everything right now, just we're going to talk about your industry specifically. On the right-hand side, you can see our available products. So if a client is asking me about an availability, I would select the date range into the future and look for my products. If they just wanted a quick snapshot, if I had a tent available, right, I could look up my big tents categories, list those products, and it gives me my pricing, my tents, all of my pieces, and I can sort all of this to say, okay, I've got this really big tent is available. I've got 5 of them available at $1,000 a day. It's available for you to rent during that timeline. So that's a snapshot there. Right click, but I want to show you what it looks like to place an order to my client. So what I would do first, a client calls, I select new order. I can then select the order type. So this is how I categorize my client base. So I want to track my wedding clients, but also my corporate clients. Maybe it's an audiovisual client that I'm doing, an education if I'm doing like decorating a hall for graduation, but also stuff like charities. We give away a lot of our time to charities. And you want to track that. How much value are you providing to the charities, and how much money are you getting back out of it eventually in future sales? So we can customize our paperwork for all of that and then track our sales. For here, I'll select wedding and event. I'm going to put in here my client's name. So I just select it. It pops up with an intuitive field. I can also add a new customer information as well. Maybe this is for a fair that we're doing. So the project feature allows you to create multiple orders, multiple quotes and bookings, and group it under one project so that you can see, let's use an example of a wedding. The client's asking you to give them a quote on a ceremony and a reception. And then they might call back and say, we don't have enough of a budget. We need to cut out the decor for the reception. Instead of going through line by line by line in one master quote, you can just go into that project and edit that one facet of what you're doing. So it allows you to kind of stay more organized. Here I can select the dates for when I'm doing this booking. So we'll say from the 6th to the 7th. So it gives me a 1-day booking. Over on the right hand side, I'm going to jump to the contracts section. Here in my drop down, I can have a list of the contracts that I want to send to my clients. So this can get pretty long. So you might have a first consultation agreement, second consultation agreement, decor, setup, terms of use, rental agreements, whatever you want, and they'll all show up in here, and it's going to automatically attach that contract to the second page of this pricing sheet, so you know the client's getting it what they need. I'll select that they're going to be invoiced for this option. And then I'm going to set my status. So if the client is just asking for a price calculation, they just want to know what it would cost. They don't actually want to hold the items. I would set it to price calculation. A quote is more serious. If they say, can you give me 2 weeks, save that date for me for 2 weeks, and I'll get back to you to confirm, you set it to quote. That's going to hold your inventory. All right. So once you've done that, it's actually holding that inventory for a couple of weeks. We've designed this sales dashboard over here, I'll show you in a minute, that allows you to see outstanding quotes and price calculations in your system of people that haven't made that decision yet. Are they going to book or are they going to cancel, right? Because if you can look at it and say, these quotes are 2 weeks old, 1 month old, they haven't actually made a decision yet, you can either release your inventory or call them and say, I need to know if you're doing this or not. And then obviously when they're ready to go forward, you just set the status to book. So your entire inventory is controlled from this one drop-down menu, which is really simple, quick, and easy to use. Down at the custom field section, this is where you create your paperwork. So we don't know what you want on your paperwork. You're completely different. Every business is. So you set this up. So somebody here has created the event planner's phone number. So I can put that on here. I can put the event date is Saturday afternoon event. My delivery instructions, I can see over here, this is in green. So this is going to show up. If it's green, it's going to show up on this paperwork. So it's going to be just on my internal staff paperwork, and this will not show up on the customer paperwork, the invoice, or the credit note. So I can say deliver after 2 p.m. Don't step on carpet with muddy shoes. Same thing with the customer note. It's going to show up on my internal paperwork, so on and so forth. So you can put in all this information here so that you customize all your paperwork. So maybe for a charity, you can say what the charity name is, who the money's going to, percentage of money going directly to the cause, to local charity, whatever you want to do. You set it up in here. Down here, I have the option of making this order tax-free. So I can take all the taxes out by saying yes or no. Maybe for charities or for churches, you can take that right out. And then I also have my factors. So the factor, if you're in the wedding industry and you only charge them a flat rate for renting, whether it's you deliver on Friday, set up on Saturday morning, they use it Saturday night, and you tear down Sunday, you still might just charge $1,000 for that tent. But some people will say that that's a 3-day rental. So for 3 days, you can either pay $1,000 per day, so it would be $3,000, or I can use the factors here to say, for 3-day rental, you only pay for 2. So I multiply the base price by 2. If that's confusing, you just kind of have to play with it, and it's completely customizable, and it depends on your business model. For now, I'll just do a 1-day-to-1 rental. So let's put in a product. So the main thing when it comes to clients in this industry, they just want to know that they're being taken care of. So if I went to rent a backdrop for this client, I can enter that package in here. The client just wants to know that they're getting the elegant silver satin backdrop. They don't really know all of the pieces that go into it. They don't know that you need 30 click hooks, 4 pieces of 12-foot silver satin, 6 standard backdrop poles, and 6 standard base stands, maybe a crossbar, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of pieces that go into making this pretty piece, but they don't need to know that. So you can see along the top here, there's all the pricing included along here, but in these gray lines underneath my sublines, I've taken the pricing out because that's for me. So on my paperwork, I'm going to see all the pieces that need to go into it. On the customer's paperwork, they're just going to see this package on top. Okay, so then I can also go here, and let's say I want to order 20 of them. Okay, I can change my quantity to 20. What happens though is my stock is controlled based on these sublines, so it's telling me I don't have enough of all of these pieces to make 20 packages, so it reverts back to the closest amount that I have. Now, as a catch to this, we don't like to say no often. So we like to say, yes, we can make that beautiful event for you, because I'm not going to say no to a $25,000 wedding because I'm 3 base stands short. I'm going to go out and buy them or rent them from somebody else. There is a function where you can turn off the stock control and allow yourself to sub-rent or create purchase orders to go out and get the pieces you need, and you can track it all in the system as well. So that is possible. You aren't necessarily limited to what you have in the system. You can go around that. So let's put in another tent here, and then we'll move forward. So I'll select this tent package, and I can see it all laid out for me here. So my taxes are built in. There's all my pieces. Everything looks good. I get to this point, and it's a $781 wedding. Everybody says the same thing. I want a discount, so you need to give me 10% off. So what I can do is use my calculator, select a discount amount, and then I can choose. So the order right now is currently set to $781. I choose the type of products that I want to add the discount to. So with RentalTrax, we have 4 product types. Rental, meaning it's leaving your inventory and coming back to you. Standard, meaning it's a sale item. So think of candles, balloons, or anything you sell out of your inventory. So instead of it coming back and replenishing stock, it downticks. So a candle will melt so it doesn't come back in. Virtual products are your fees like setup, delivery, insurance, non-physical items that you charge money for. And packaged products are the grouping of certain products together. So what I choose to do here is give a 10% discount to just rental, standard, and packaged products, but not to virtual products, because virtual product might be something like delivery or insurance fee. So my insurance company doesn't give me a 10% discount on that item, so I'm not going to carry forward that discount to my client. So I might not want to give a 10% discount on my labor that is a virtual item because my staff's not going to work for 10% cheaper. so I'm not going to carry that forward. I'm going to click on the add to product, add to order button, and it will automatically take 10% off, which is $70 off of the $700 we did, and adjust all my numbers for me. And you just have to set your tax class to be correct. In our demo system, this tax class is incorrect, so it's not calculating 100% properly. But you can now see the order is worth $698.75. Okay, so you've got all that information in, you've kind of set up your wedding, we've still got some more files along the top, more tabs to go through. So if I wanted to take a deposit, I could put in here that I took a 10% deposit on booking, and I could say they gave us cash, and then I would erase this here and say that they paid $70. Okay, and now I've created a payment in here, so it tracks their payments as we go. I got to put in my delivery address here, so I can either leave the customer's delivery, this is tied directly to the customer's information, or if I have a venue that I work with all the time, I can select that venue and it will automatically fill in as well. The responsibility tab allows me to tag somebody as responsible for this event, so I can look for my users and say that Michael, you are in charge of this event, so he's responsible for the items. The crew planning tab does similar functions but at the next level. So I can say that I need Niels to work this event and I need Ryan to work this event as well. So what I would do is say, Niels, I need you to drive. Ryan, you are to assist in setting up. So it's going to automatically communicate with them so that they know that they have to work this event. And I can check it off to create a schedule of tasks for these two users assigned to this event. The Files tab allows you to attach any internal files or customer files. So maybe the internal files, you need to have a driver's certificate or insurance certificate or a map to the location. Customer files, they might need to see your insurance license to be able to set up at the venue, or maybe they want a catalog of pictures of the items. It's completely up to you. You can attach it as you need to. And the last tab is your media tab, which ties directly into our app, our mobile app. So you can upload pictures of your products at the event. You can obtain a signature on the screen on the mobile device to be able to upload it in here as well. This is where it's all stored. Okay. Last thing I want to point out inside these tabs is this play button. You can see it all over the place inside of our system. That play button allows you to view a how-to video specific to this function inside the system. So if I click on it, I get a how-to video popping up teaching me just about the support video, or just about this files tab, so I can see exactly how to use that piece. So what I'm going to do now is click on save. Once I've saved it, it's going to pop up. A couple things change. I now get a log tab that keeps track of all of when, who did it, and what happened to this order. So it shows me everything that I need to know. I also get these 5, we call them action icons. So if I hover over the first 2, this is the download internal action icon. So if I click on that, downloads an internal PDF, and the second one is for the customer. So it's creating my paperwork for me. It's automating everything. So let's look at the customer's paperwork. So I zoom in a little bit. This is customizable, so you can make this look however you like. We've got our company logo in the top right, the customer's information on the left, and here's the pieces that they've got. So remember the backdrop in the tent event had those sublines? We're not showing that to the client. So I can see all the information in here, the product weight, the quantity, subtotal, taxes, everything. I'll put in here. I can see the payment that they made and the balance that they owe. Here's those custom fields. Everything's laid out underneath. So I can see all that information. And on the second page is that contract that we automatically attached. So we're trying to make it really simple. We want to automate all of your paperwork so that you don't have to spend all your time creating these documents. On the internal side, it looks a little bit different. So I can see the customer information or company information in the top right, the booking information on the left. And here I've got a checkbox list where I can print this off and check off the pieces I need in the warehouse. So this is for your internal staff. I can see the location of where it is, what it is, and how many pieces that I need. So we take the pricing out because we don't need our warehouse people worried about the value of the PV mixer. We just need them to go get it and make sure that it's on the truck. So that's the second step, is going through making sure your paperwork looks great. When you're convinced it's all good, you're going to click on the Save and Email button. Once you've done that, we want to save as much time. RentalTrax is about automation. So I can use this template manager to select a pre-written email, and it automatically fills in as if I was sat down and wrote out this customer's email. So we can see here where it says customer name behind these squiggly brackets. That's going to automatically fill in the information that we need